Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green. Steve Shanley from the Municipal Band is back to talk about week number 6. And it's a 9-week season, right?
9-week season,
okay.
Well over halfway done.
Hard to believe. Summer is just flying by. Of course, what it is it's blowing by because every day is so windy.
It certainly feels that way, yes.
That must be it. So what's on tap for this week?
This week we're featuring Christine Bellamy, who has been the longtime principal clarinet player of the group, as well as principal clarinet player in Orchestra Iowa, and just one of my favorite musicians to collaborate with. I thought it was very fitting. A couple of weeks ago, there was a nice profile of the band in the Cedar Rapids Gazette, and there were some photos taken from the rehearsal. And there was a photo of Christine, but you don't get to see Christine's face or even Christine playing the clarinet. What you see is Christine's hand marking her music. And this is something that I try and get across to students that they just won't listen. That the better the musician, the more likely they are to mark stuff in their music because they do not want to miss it a second time. I tell them, go watch any excellent group rehearse. All the musicians have pencils and they are marking stuff in their parts. It is not a sign of weakness, and in fact, it's the opposite. And so I thought it was very telling because Christine has amazing ears and she's always hearing mistakes in the parts before I can catch them. And so I thought it was very telling that the photo of her was of her hand writing stuff into the music. So very excited to feature her on a super cool piece. It's called Twitch, and it's by Nathan Daughtry. And I discovered it by watching a concert given by the Marion High School Band, which Logan Vander conducts. And he had programmed this piece and featured another clarinet player on it. And I thought, oh, that's really cool and would fit the municipal band really well. The audience would like it. And I sent it to Christine. And Christine is always up for any sort of challenge. So she quickly accepted. So my thanks to Logan for finding that piece for me, and to Christine for so quickly jumping on and being willing to go with that. Also, I should point out, every once in a while, I have these weeks where I program something that accidentally becomes relevant. I didn't mean for it to be relevant, and then it turns out it is. So we're playing selections from Moana this week as well. And I was recently at the theater with my family to watch Inside Out 2, which, warning families, if you're going to go watch that, parents, you're going to cry a lot. But in the previews, I guess we have Moana 2 coming out. And I thought, oh, lucky me. Sometimes that stuff just works itself out that way. So,
almost like you know what you're doing.
So yeah, like I think 6 weeks ago or whenever I programmed this, I had no idea that was happening. But yes, so we got Moana this week, which is always popular with the children. So I think this would be a great week to pack a picnic and bring your little ones out. We've got that one programmed very early in the concert, so you're welcome to come right away at 7:30. And then when Moana's done, if you want to pack up and go home for bedtime, no problem at all. I also regularly get requests for music that celebrates the Czech heritage here in Cedar Rapids. And we used to play every year 1 week at Sokol Park in Czech Village. And then with the whole redoing of the flood containment, and like the park doesn't really work that way anymore.
You don't really have the right space now.
Yeah. So, and that was just sort of a built-in reminder to me to program some stuff, some Czech music this week, program some polkas. And unfortunately, as that location became unavailable to us, so too it sort of slips from my mind. And so I think it was the first week, a couple of people came up and said, are you going to program some polkas this summer? And I thought, oh, and I made a note to myself, and I had already programmed most of the first part of the summer, but I went ahead and added the Barbara polka in for this week, which is always a hit as well. And then for maybe the older children in the audience, I have a wonderful James Bond medley, which will be my favorite thing of
I
the
was
week
gonna
as
say-
well, because
I was
I
gonna say-
love all that music so much.
When you say older children in the audience, those on the video, you're looking at them.
Yes,
right
yes,
now.
we are
Yep.
the older children who never get sick of the music from James Bond. And then closing the program down is March from Frank Pearsall, who we discussed last week, and there was a nice write-up about him, his legacy as a composer, his involvement with the Municipal Band and the Gazette recently as well. And this is a up-tempo, it's often referred to as a gallop, to kind of get the animals or the audience or everybody whipped into a frenzy at the circus. And this is called Circus Days. So excited to feature some of Frank's music and hope that maybe drives a few more listeners to our YouTube channel, Cedar Rapids Municipal Band YouTube channel, that has some nice recordings of Frank's marches on there.
We talked about those recordings quite a bit last week, but you recorded them several years ago, but actually they just have been posted fairly recently. Is
They
that
did just
correct?
get posted. Yes, I had a kind of a long-term to-do list, and before I could work on that project, I had to finish my PhD. That was just sort of a self-imposed deadline, and let's just say it took a while to get through both of those. But I am pleased that I did get to both of them before too much embarrassing time lapsed.
And where are the concerts this week?
Concerts are at Bowman Woods School on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. That's always a fun one for me because I went to Bowman Woods Elementary
That's
School.
like,
so
it's just a hop step from where you grew
It
up.
is,
Your
and I
house,
grew- I
you
grew
grew
up
up in that neighborhood.
two blocks away from there, and I still walk past it every day on my walk. So that's always sort of a sentimental one for me. So Wednesday, Bowman Woods Park and Elementary School at 7:30, and then Sunday at Ellis Park at 7:30. And we encourage you to follow us on Facebook. That's by far the best way to get information if there's going to be any sort of weather-related cancellation. You can also find us online at crmuniband.org. And I want to give a shout out, another good reason to follow us on Facebook. If you are doing that, you are much more likely to get reminders that we are going live, because if you can't attend in person, you can watch us on Facebook. Justin Comer and his crew do a great job live streaming that. And then also, when you go there, you get to see all the great photos Jeff Schmott takes of the band each week as well.
Yep. Jeff's there every week, and I have to confess, even though I could come to the concerts in person, if it's not convenient, I will watch them online and enjoy them almost as much as being there.
Yep, totally don't blame you. I would probably do the same thing. I'd have it up on my laptop right next to the grill as I'm maybe smoking a chicken or some ribs or something like that.
All right, this is another week of concerts with the Municipal Band, and again, check them out on Facebook for the live stream or late breaking updates, recording the weather and stuff. And we'll talk to you next week for week 7.
Thanks. And a little teaser for that. Very special project next week. You are not going to want to miss it. Very cool collaboration, and I'm very excited to come back and talk about it.
And we're going to probably even have some additional special guests on the show to talk about it, too.
If we can make it all work,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. So we're working on that. So we'll tease you for next week. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Dennis.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture, or using your favorite podcast app. Our videos up on the KCCK YouTube or Facebook channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. I'm Dennis Green. I'll talk to you later.